Hey guys, I am 19 weeks and 2 days today, and today was my anatomy ultrasound, so I have a lot and talk a lot about that. And also, I made a 19 weeks pregnant video about Molly, and it was the only one I did, and so I will do my belly shot and compare it with that one at the end. That'll be so much fun. Okay, so anyway, my symptoms this week are my right hip really hurts when I lay on it. Left hip is okay, but the right hip just gets so sore. So that's happening already. Everything is like happening already this pregnancy. Ugh. And the other thing that happened this week was I had another dream, that I had a natural birth, and I went and I followed through and everything, and the pain wasn't that bad. So we'll see if that actually happens, and I will tell you more about this later, but I may not even have a vaginal birth. So, anyway, moving on to my ultrasound. So my ultrasound was this morning at like 10:15, and we got there, and there was no place to park at all. I was freaking out. I've never ever seen that hospital parking lot that full, so I spent like 5 minutes driving around trying to find a spot, and I did finally find one. And then I had to walk like really fast, and I was freaking out, and Ben's just like, whatever. And he went with me because I asked him to. So he took the day off, and he went with me, and he had Molly with him, so he was carrying Molly. And then we went in the building, went upstairs, went to maternal fetal medicine, and then we got called back and everything. It was great. And then we got to see our little baby, and she is absolutely perfect. Like, she's spot on. Everything looks great. She measured her heart. She's got a 4-chambered heart. She measured her head. Everything looks great up there. The shirt's really itchy. And the specialist was trying to see if her umbilical cord was like in the center of my placenta. And she couldn't really tell, but I think she finally decided it was in the center. It's not to the side, so yay. And we got to see her little hands and everything. And then after a while, she did the sex to make sure she was still a girl. And at first, her legs were like really tight together like this. And she was like, oh, her legs are kind of tight together, but it looks pretty girly to me. And then a couple seconds later, she opened her legs and she was like, oh yeah, she's definitely a girl. And I was like, okay, sweet. So I didn't tell everyone the wrong sex. So that's good. My baby is breech. I mean, that doesn't mean much at 19 weeks, but I had a feeling she was breech because I only feel kicks like way down. And so I had a feeling she was breech, and she is. She is head up and feet down, and obviously that's probably going to change. But just at the moment, she's head up. And Molly was like never head up. She was always from the start head down. So anyway, she goes and looks at the placenta, and she's just like, I don't know if she asked this because or not, but she was just like, oh, have you had any bleeding this pregnancy? I was like, no. And then she was just looking at the placenta, and then she left, and everything was great. And then the specialist that like looks at the stuff came in, and she said, everything looks great except that your placenta is a little bit closer to your cervix than most people's are. I do not have placenta previa, and it is not like touching my cervix, but my placenta is apparently just down, further down, and she said about 20% of people at this gestational age, their placenta is down there. So what that means is that I get to go back in 9 weeks for another ultrasound to make sure it hasn't covered my cervix, and so I'm really excited that I get another bonus sneak peek at my baby. And that's why I said I might get a C-section. I mean, the chances of that are like super like 0.5%. I looked it up. So it's probably going to be fine. I mean, I follow like hundreds of blogs. I've followed hundreds of blogs and people over the years, and they've had babies. And out of everything, only one blog I've ever followed, someone had placenta previa. So it's really not going to be a big deal probably, and if it is, then I'll have to have a C-section. There's nothing I can do about it, so I can't really get upset about it. And the good thing about a C-section, especially an EC, an elective C-section, is that I can choose her birthday pretty much. So that's kind of cool. But yes, I'm really hoping I don't have a C-section. I probably will not. I'll probably be just fine. My placenta is probably going to behave. I really hope it behaves, because I would love to try for a natural birth. This time around, I've decided I do want to kind of do it, but once again, I will wait till I actually get there before I decide anything solid. So, that's like kind of the she's healthy but kind of thing, but it's like the smallest butt in the world, so I'm not really worried about it. So, the profile shot she actually got like almost right away. With Molly, the last thing they did was her profile. They did like everything first. And this time when she was just moving the wand, she just like got this perfect profile. So she's like, oh, so she just took it like right away. It was like the second thing she did was the profile. And the baby looks like she has my nose. And then of course like later after they gave me the pictures and everything, I went home and I compared the two, of course. And this baby's nose is way bigger than Molly's. It could be the angle or it could be a different nose. I don't know, but I still think this baby has my nose. So I'm going to insert the comparison picture. Molly is on the top and this baby is on the bottom. And then also they do like a front shot like right here, and on Molly I had no clue what I was looking at. It just looked really bizarre to me and it looked flat and I just didn't see it. But I've seen some people's ultrasound pictures of that on Instagram, and so now I actually know what I'm looking at. And so when she did the front of the face, I clearly saw our baby's little lips and nose, and she got a picture, and this baby clearly has Ben's lips. Just like absolutely. I'm gonna be really sad if I'm wrong because it just totally, absolutely looks like Ben's lips. And from the angle, it's kind of like this angle, like right here. And it looks like she has my nose, but I'm not sure. Definitely looks more like my nose than it did at the 12 weeks. So here's that picture. So yeah, the ultrasound went great. Everything was awesome, and the rest of our day was super, super great too. And also, a thing I forgot to mention is that last night, so February 2nd, at 19 weeks and a day, if anyone's keeping track, we both felt her move on the outside. She was just kicking a ton, and I put my hand there, and she moved and definitely moved my hand. And so I had Ben put his hand there, and he also felt her move, and that was really exciting because Molly, every time we put her hand on there, she would immediately stop moving, and it wasn't until about 30 weeks when she got too big to hide her movement that we could finally feel her on the outside. So this baby's won the race of having us feel her on the outside. So anyway, I guess I will end with all my stats. So my weight, I just weighed myself. I weigh 168.8. I have broken 170 a couple times, especially at the doctor's office because I have all my clothes on. When I weigh myself, I strip down to my underwear, so that's why it's like a little bit more accurate than them, I guess. And my waist is still 40 inches. It was 40 inches last week. Oh yeah, I've gained almost 2 pounds from last week. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to do the belly shot, and I will compare it with Molly's belly shot. Okay, here's from this side. So here's with my shirt on. Here's from the front. You can see my belly button through my shirt. That's funny. And the front, and then here's from the other side, and this side with the shirt up. Here's from this side. So here's my belly, and the front. My belly button's a lot more popped out. The front. And there. I look so much bigger. So that's about it for week 19. Not a whole lot like happens at week 19. Sorry my hair is a mess. It just is because it's been raining, it's humid, whatever. So anyway, I'm just going to stop apologizing for my postpartum hair because it's crazy. So I will talk to everybody for week 20. Bye.